WWE finally got rid of the concept barely anyone liked. It involved Seth Rollins, Bronson Reed, and Dominic Mysterio. Any guesses? Well, it's freaking awesome. Also on Greatness of Wrestling, why Raw and Netflix censored the middle finger, The Rock's faction name, John Cena's new look, problems with WWE 2K25, and the IGN rating got revealed. Welcome everybody to a brand new episode of Greatness of Wrestling, the only wrestling news show you need to be watching, ladies and gentlemen. Now, let's talk about a big change coming to WWE. Well, if you go to WWE.com right now, it's no longer Seth Freakin Rollins, it's no longer Big Bronson Reed, and it's no longer dirty Dominic Mysterio, which is false information at this point. Boy be dirty, boy be fucking, boy be stealing your girl, what you gonna do about it? Somebody pointed that out in the comments below and I find it really fascinating. Anytime I say something that WWE should do, I always continue by saying, but it's never gonna happen. Lately I talked about how we need more people like CM Punk, not necessarily these two character-driven superstars, but real people with real problems, with real frustration, sounding real. And as great as Seth Rollins is, and as much as I do appreciate the gimmick, I want to see the real Seth Rollins, and slowly, we're definitely going to that direction. And what do you know, WWE, few days later, removed all the Freakins. No more Freakins, people. This is a frustration that Seth Rollins shared too. He's like, I do like the name. When you're introducing me in these grand entrances, I like the sound of Seth freaking Rollins. It's a PG way to say he's the guy. But like, you don't have to mention it every single time. Literally at one point in commentary, we had people saying Seth freaking Rollins with another curb stomp, Seth freaking Rollins with a suplex. I wonder what Seth freaking Rollins is going to say. It's so outdated, it's so cartoonish, it doesn't work in that era in my opinion. It's not supposed to be his name. It's like saying Randy the Viper Orton. Sometimes it definitely works, like Stone Cold Steve Austin. But you also don't call him that every single time you mention him. He's either going to be Stone Cold or Steve Austin. Another weird one was Dirty Dominic Mysterio. It doesn't really even make sense in kayfabe. Why would you call yourself that? Why would you be like, yes, I'm okay with WWE calling me dirty? He's supposed to feel like he's the good guy, even though he's not for the most part, although probably Ray had it coming. I'm so glad WWE possibly finally realized, yeah, it's a bit goofy. If you watched Monday Night Raw on Netflix, you realized sometimes we got this black screen, but for a split millisecond you can see middle fingers. And I was like, okay, this doesn't make any sense. Before WWE went to Netflix, Triple H promised us, oh my god, this is going to be a different product because less censorship. It's not on television. We can get away with stuff. You know, blood is coming, boobies. Lots of boobies and stuff. Obviously that got us excited, and for the most part, like, I really love this show. Raw on Netflix is the best wrestling show on television right now, in my opinion. Sue me. And I complained about it. Obviously, at the end of the day, people said, well, the middle finger is really offensive, and it's offensive everywhere. Like, we know what that means, right? We know what that means. At the end of the day, though, it's a finger, and WWE said the F word at the premium live event. So people said, well, the Greatoneyt, you don't understand. We can't blame the WWE. It was Netflix who did it. Well, about that. Sources at Netflix say WWE now has full control over Raw's production. The reason Seth Rollins' middle finger spot was blacked out had to do with the aesthetics for the main events. Since it was a steel cage match, they felt the color contrast wouldn't have looked good, so it was their call to black it out. It was purely an aesthetic decision related to the darkness of the scene. Raw is now fully under WWE's production control. Am I the only one who read this and didn't understand shit? What do you mean? What do you exactly mean by this? If anything, the shot of two warriors battling it out, barely any gas left, hatred running wild, showing middle fingers at each other, I believe that adds to the match. I'm not sure if I even believe this rumor. In a way, like, I do understand, WWE probably want to have a great relationship with Netflix, so they're trying to play it safe. That actually makes sense to me. But it's something you should probably also know whether you can do or not. They probably had these talks. How much can we get away with? It's not on television. I'm pretty sure before WWE went to Netflix, we used to get blood in WWE every 3 weeks. Just on random episodes of SmackDown, which is on television. You know, fake blood or not, doesn't matter, still, it gets the point across. At the end of the day, I do realize TV-14 spots are not as important as actual storytelling, great matches, and, you know, for the most part, Raw on Netflix kinda proved that, but censoring this just feels silly to me. According to WrestleVotes, one of the ideas discussed for The Rock and John Cena has been to label them The Rock and Soul Connection. Okay, now. So you mean like The Rock and Sock connect? This is... I don't believe this for shit. The Rock's head writer said, "Your sources are drunk," which is most likely true. This is way too PG. You know, we're supposed to take it really seriously. On the other hand, it's the most Rock thing to do, to have a faction with John Cena and only have The Rock's name in it. The Rock Soul Connection. Why don't we name it The Rock Soul Collection? I'm not even sure if this faction needs a name. If it does though, it doesn't have to have anybody's name in it. Imagine if the NWO was called Hulk Hogan's Alliance. Now speaking of John Cena, people, we all expect a brand new attire, which is still possible, but something I talked about in my Reddit videos that WWE just released new merchandise and it looks like every single other John Cena merch. Doesn't look bad, but it looks exactly what you would expect. PG Cena. So there are a couple of ways to look at it. This was probably made before, and WWE are still gonna make shitloads of money by releasing John Cena's farewell tour merchandise. I mean, it still has The Last Time Is Now, Never Give Up. Hey baby, wanna get frisky tonight? I'm wearing these John Cena socks. I'm not gonna hate it too much, but at the end of the day, I want WWE to go all in. This merch tells me, it gives me a suspicion that John Cena is gonna act almost the same, but delusional in a way. He's still gonna be like, hustle, loyalty, respect, I'm right, you just don't understand, which is not that bad. But I guess we can all agree, we want a bigger change. I keep staring at these socks, man, I'm like... Wow. And there are so many different ways WWE can approach this. Like, I would actually pick John Cena in a suit, feeling very official. I would actually pick that over the, you know, edgy John Cena, Mr. Thuganomics or whatever. Basically, Hollywood Cena. That's the approach I would go with. People, WWE 2K25 is fun, but I've ran into a couple of issues. I wish I recorded footage earlier because it was even worse. It looked like Rey Mysterio was giving the... to Austin Theory. I wish I clicked the record button a little bit earlier, but still, this was absolutely wild. I thought this match is gonna be the end of Rey Mysterio. Austin Theory forgot the rules of the steel cage match. It was absolutely wild. So I thought I'd share that, but still, WWE 2K25 received a lot of updates and still has many problems. For example, you can turn the referee meter off, which is the only fun way to play special guest referee matches. I thought maybe you have to unlock that shit. But that's simply not true because when you actually start the match, they tell you you can turn it off. And you can't. So it's kind of weird that they still haven't fixed that. They also talked about the Royal Rumble glitch where people start eliminating themselves and then the game just freezes. It's not like the game crashes but nothing happens, no new entries, people are just stuck. But let's talk about IGN, the IMDb of video games. So WWE 2K22 got an 8, 2K23 got an 8, 2K24 got an 8. What about WWE 2K25? Are you following me right here? It also got an 8. Call me crazy, but shouldn't it be lower at this point? Logically, yes, all of these games are great, almost equally, but when the updates start getting less and less important, less and less big, shouldn't the rating go down as well a little bit? I've been playing WWE 2K25 for many hours right now, and I've realized it's a very fun video game. I really enjoy my time. Still, by far, the biggest feature to me is the third-person camera because it makes the game look different. Fighting near the stage, it just looks different. And while it doesn't seem like a big deal, it kinda was to me. But after playing for a few days, I've realized I don't think this game will keep me playing for a very long time because the game modes just kinda there. If you played WWE 2K24 and felt like, okay, I'm done with this one. I'm done with GM, I'm done with Universe Mode, give me a groundbreaking update and I'm gonna be excited again. That was not necessarily the case with WWE 2K25. To me at this point, the only fun way to play this game is actually with my brother. Like, obviously you're gonna have a lot of fun. And I keep telling you that the gameplay is better than it's ever been, and I keep getting comments, well, have you played SmackDown Here Comes the Pain? People, this is my favorite wrestling video game, Here Comes the Pain. Objectively though, you can't do 10% of the shit you can do in the new games. The gameplay is great. If we got gameplay like this back then, we would lose our minds. It's the lack of game mode features I have a problem with. My rating for WWE 2K25 would be like a 7, really. It's weird because if you haven't played the previous ones, this is gonna be a good one, but if you already played every wrestling video game, you're not gonna feel that big of a difference, and I'm not sure if the gameplay alone is gonna keep you playing. And I know many people say, why are you not showing us the island? And the thing is, like, I don't wanna contribute to this idea of video games that you have to pay money for fake-ass shoes. I just hate this concept of video games nowadays. Anyway, people, that's all I got for you today on Greatness of Wrestling. Thank you so much for watching. Great one. Peace, love, and hugs. It's been a pleasure.